Well, hello. I made it. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Yes, it took me a little bit this morning. What was I doing? Well, I was actually just sort of taking some notes, stepping into the energies of November and taking a little peek at what some of the frequencies coming in, and the transformations of energies that are coming forth for us. And hello, Lisa. Thank you for popping in today. And as I was doing today, let's start with today. Today's fabulous. Today's a great day. The moon is in Leo. And hey, when the moon's in Leo, it's playtime, baby. It's playtime. We want to get going. And it's making some really beautiful, energetic aspects right now. And Venus is way out of bounds. Like her declination is like 26 something, and on average declinations are like 23. So she's she's partying. She's way out, and I can see why she's partying, man. I really can, because she will be going into Capricorn. And man, I mean, she didn't like Scorpio, let alone with her wanting to go into Capricorn. She ain't gonna like that either. And Pluto's there. This is Saturn's home. And she's going retrograde when she hits Pluto. So she'll be going retrograde in the next month or so. In December, she'll be going retrograde. So we have her right now, and Mars is almost ready to step into Scorpio. And Mars and Mercury have been together for some time. I mean, Mars went into Libra in September 15th. So we're getting answers, or looking at things that have been going on since September 15th. We're looking at a lot of inquiries and getting information on what was going on at that time for us. And now as he is going forward and as he is coming out, all this stuff going on. And we're there's like two, like, different information. We're receiving information, could be from two different pipelines. And this is stuff that we're learning. There's stuff that we've been learning since mid-September. And as I said to people, October was kind of the intro, or the energy field for 2022, and how 2022 will be playing out. Well, as we look through our October's been a little rough, just a wee bit rough for us. There's been, more information coming out about, shortages. There's been information. I'm going to go back into my notes. This is why you keep a journal, right? Finding out more information about how women have to defend ourselves as women. We've been finding out more about woke society and what that all means. The other part too is like uh, a lot to do with death, people dying, things rotting away, things moving away. And we have also gone through loading the world with a lot of changes, a lot of delays, a lot of flight delays. We've been seeing things like that going on. We've been also looking at building a series energy. Intense passion has been all a part of this. This is about looking at our shame and our guilt and our fear. And we've also been working on making a big turn, looking at things, what has not been serving us, our beliefs, parts, our complex soul being, parts of our souls not working, breaking down. So we've been working on a lot of energy to do with love and joy and peace, and looking at structures, and our structures about moving forward. So in seeing things trying to see things more clearly. So we've been doing a lot of work this month. This has been a really a month of work. It's been a progressive month. A lot of information and power dynamics have been coming in. a lot of information about jobs, mandates, how this is going to be played out. Some of those mandates have been moved for some people. Uh, Telling secrets being revealed. So this has been a month of messages, information coming forth to us and giving us that glimpse of what's unfolding for us as we are heading into November, December, and into 2022. This energy that, as you know, that's unfolding for us. I mean, today I think it's a fun day. It's a beautiful day for Friday, which is great because I think we kind of need that uplifting kind of energy for us as we are going to be moving into the weekend. The weekend is going to be bringing in a lot more, I'm going to say, heaviness. It's going to start because we're going to be moving towards a new moon in Scorpio. Mars is going to be in Scorpio, and Venus is getting closer to her exit of Sagittarius. We also will be having that Mercury's coming to the end and coming out of its shadow phase and going to be at the end of Libra. So there's this intensity that's there. We also have, with this new moon, is going to be opposite Uranus. So, which is opposite the people. Uranus is the people. Uranus is the people. Here comes this moon and sun. It's going to be, what are we doing? What are the policies? It's this push upon the people, and how are they going to react? So we're heading into an energy that is really going to bring in a separation, bring in a polarities, more polarities coming in. And but this is encouraged, like today it's getting us to say, okay, let's, it's like almost like, grabbing in and into our love bag and looking at all the great things and having us, look at all the things that we've done and worked on and began to create. And we are in an inspirational time. We are in this time to bring forth new changes, new I'm looking at my look at that. Look, I got just sidetracked here because my mascara. I hate that. That's not very good mascara when it does that. We're just totally off topic, right? My mascara. So this is where, the nodes of, are coming in, and they're the nodes of fate. So they're putting us on edge. They're putting us in where they're almost into Scorpio. They're almost into Taurus. Yet, what is the big picture? We're hanging in there. And it's encouraging us to love and our ideas and great things. Yet, this is filling up our love bank. This is what we're here to do. We want to fill up the goodness. We want to fill this up because we're going on a journey. We're going on a journey, so it's time to fill up the bank. It's time to fill up the bag, and that's what I see. I see this great big like Santa Claus bag that they want us to fill up. What do you want to put into this bag? What are the things that you want to be able to have or go into and grab from when we are feeling low, or we're feeling sort of out of it, or we're not feeling so jolly? And so this bag is coming in to say, what do you want to fill this bag full? What do you want to fill it with? And this is looking at, all those wonderful things that you want to put into it, of what it is that you want to create. What is it? What you are desiring? And with this Mercury and this Mars, it's helping us to find those ways at this time. And even though Mars is getting very eager to leave Libra, he still has to tie up some loose ends at the office there before he can actually dive into the depths of what Scorpio has to bring. This Scorpio energy, as we are entering, or as we are here now, is really beginning to unfold a lot of information, a lot of truths. And as we get closer to that opposition to Uranus, it is bringing in, and a square to Saturn. So we have a square to Saturn. So this is, and that square to Saturn is also, with an opposition to Uranus, and a Uranus square to Saturn. So we have, like, it's a T square there. There's a T square that's coming in, but it's pulling us to look at our structures. It's pulling us to look at the depths of the things that we need to be changed. There is a heaviness that is coming down on this. We also have the, which I think is like really fucked up, climate change conference with all the world leaders that flew there on their private jets, by the way, to go to a conference that they want zero emissions and all kinds of fucking bullshit to to put on to us, to put on more taxes and other things. So we're entering into a kind of a sloppy kind of energy. That's what I feel like. It's kind of like going to be a sloppy type of energy. It's going to be energy that is going to really awaken a lot more people to be aware of the unfoldings of your 3D muggle world and what that 3D muggle world has and what it's offering. And this is I feel like this is where, you know, because I got like, yeah, with Mars going in and the moon being there, the moon, Mars, and all of that's kind of Scorpio season. Scorpio's usually the depths and everything. So I got like the ghouly zombies and everything coming in. Um, but I feel like before anything can change, um, it's like, I said this at the beginning of the year that this is a year that you have to invite the bad witch to the table. In meaning that you got to allow them in order to make the change. And also, how else are you going to cut the head off the snake if you keep on pushing them at bay? So this is where I believe things are going to start coming to a little bit more craziness, because the snake or the witch or whoever, the bad witch, you want to invite them to the table. You want to invite them. You want to invite them in. And it's important to have them in because, one, you want to hear what they have to say. And two, you want to make sure that, okay, I got you. I got you where you want because you're at my table. I'm not at your table. You're at my table. And when you're at my table, I have the control, not you. And that's where this energy, especially with Scorpio, comes in. It comes in to say, hey, you're at my table now. This is the direction we need to go into. This is really going to get people to stand firm in their truth. And so many things, and I know there's, again, here I'm going to bring it up. So many things are going to come up where people are going to say, but I got a job. I got to pay my rent. I got to feed my children. And I really understand that, but there's such convictions that are going to be coming in over the next several months that bowing down to your convictions and your values, compromising yourself, is really going to bite you in the end. And even with there's more, just crazy more information comes out, even from the snake itself. It's leaking out information, showing people information, yet people are dismissing it. They're dismissing it. Um Stories that I'm hearing, and people are, I just saw a picture of someone getting the third shot, a friend of mine. I didn't say anything, and everybody's applauding and thinking that's so wonderful. I'm so protected. And I'm like, wow, that is so scary. Um, in what they believe, but that's what they believe. That's what they've fallen into. To me, they've fallen into a pit. But that's my belief, that's my thoughts to it. But even when new truths that are going to be coming out with this, as I say, the truth is going to be revealed. And as the truth is being revealed, or as information is going to be unfolded for people, they're not going to believe it. They're not going to believe, because, one, especially if they've done what they've done to undo it, it's done. I mean, I think I've only heard of one person that can, and it's a holistic doctor, but it costs thousands of dollars to get the spike proteins gone. Um, but the changes, because that's what Scorpio does. Scorpio is the depths, and even though this day is such a beautiful day and very energetically, and with the frequency coming in with loads of light, but it's like almost charging you up, because it's charging you up to go into the battle. It's charging you up to go into a place of, to stand more into your light, as we enter in. The other part too that I find very interesting is that Mars will be hitting the Queen's sun. The Queen is a Taurus, right? And so that's hitting her sun, and I find that very interesting, as Mars is going to be opposition hitting her sun. The sun, with the sun where it is and being very close to Uranus, she's already walking with a cane. She's been in hospital, and I feel like there's something's going to happen there. I don't know if I don't feel like she's going to pass away this year, but I know it's soon. I know it's soon. She's got a deeply broken heart, and she's tired. She's tired of it all. Um, so there's that I feel is going to come forward. Will it be passed to Charles? I don't think so. I don't think she wants Charles to have it. And to keep the monarch going, which is going to be another interesting factor, I'm going to sneeze, is going to be, I mean, it might have to go to her grandson. I mean, to keep it going, to keep the youthfulness. And Kate's a Capricorn, and William's a Cancer. So we know that who's in charge there. It's definitely the Capricorn energy, because the Capricorn is they have their ways of getting things done, and making sure that they get things done the way that it needs to be done. um Many people say, oh no, my Capricorn's like this, and I'm just like, yeah, but they always have a way of getting what they want. They will get what they want. They will get what they want. Just saying, the Capricorns have a way of doing and getting what what they need done. And with Kate being a Capricorn, so I feel like there's going to be something there that's going to be happening, especially with this sun and new moon coming in. So there's going to be something's going to happen there. And also with Biden being a Scorpio, you know, there's something that is interesting in that one. So it's some unfoldings that are going to be coming. I know a lot of people will, they don't like the monarch, or they don't, but unfortunately, if you live in Canada, you live in a Commonwealth country. And if something happens to the Queen, and she's not going to this conference either. Um, so this is where interesting where this energy is going to lead, because I know a lot of people believe that, yes, the Queen is just a symbolic head, to us, but she does have powers that have not been, that they've never used before. So they do have certain um pull, that if they really wanted to, they could utilize and use. There's so many interesting, when I look into the world affairs, or I look into the energies, where Australia right now, I mean, I think Australia's fucked. Their PM isn't saying too much. He's tried to roll out these mandates, or roll out this, reopening, but none of these states and territories are taking it. Which I find interesting, and especially Victoria, the one state of Victoria. I think it's a state. Um, is their premier is really trying to push, and he's trying to push some crazy mandates through, um, so that he can basically still have these controls over lockdowns, and pushing for vaccinations and that on people. And this is a very interesting to watch. This is very interesting to unfold. Now in Britain, they just released their what did they just release? They just released their budget, but the budget got leaked. Now in Britain, I don't know if you've ever watched any parliament in Britain. It is actually hilarious to watch because these guys yell at each other across the room and they call themselves wankers and stuff like that, which is a swear word, and they call them these, so but being leaked, that means they didn't have a chance to debate on what is being brought out as the budget. And their budget is like, it's interesting because right now in Britain, they're having problems with getting fuel, petrol, uh, to the gas stations. They're having a heck of a time. They don't have the trolley drivers or the truck drivers. So there's that's coming through within Great Britain, and plus a lot of their shelves are low in food, so they're already feeling a crunch, yet there hasn't nothing was put in the budget for Britain to help them. So we have that's going on. So that's in Britain, and they're not really paying much attention, yet they're going to be giving out $19 billion or something in foreign aid, but they're not giving anything to their people. So an interesting factor with a lot of this energy and within the 3D world. So these are things that are unfolding within the 3D world. We saw, here in Canada, still we have doctors in Ontario and Alberta and that are suing because of this on the mandate. So truth is starting. This is when Mars hits into Scorpio. We're going to start seeing a lot more of this coming out, a lot more of the truths coming out, and things unfolding. Now, the other part too is that Mars is going through all of the COVID energy that it didn't go through. It was in it was in last year at this time, it was retrograde in Aries. So we had Mars retrograding in Aries, which was and the lockdowns in that coming in. Plus we have Ixion going to be coming into Capricorn, and the last time when he dipped into Capricorn was when they started bringing in really full mandated lockdowns. So this is where it's going to be seen a lot, where pressure is going to be put upon the people, because Uranus and Taurus, about the people, about the finances, about medical, about health. So this pressure is coming in even more so than what it was before, but with information. Information is coming out. Truth is coming out. Are people going to take? No, Fauci will not be arrested. No, he will not be arrested. Fauci will not be arrested. Sorry. He's a snake. He's one of the snakes. He might be pushed aside. Not yet though. I mean, he just Katie Kurt just did an interview with him not long ago, and he mentioned on that interview something about the Delta variant. Oh, the Delta variant's not too bad. We can deal with that. But he said that any new variants that are coming out are going to be um are going to be pushed upon those who have not taken elixirs. So that's going to be interesting. What will wake them up? What will wake them up? Really, really, it's like my lovely little Sag. What will wake them up? I gotta get in there. Um, oh, it's the things that will wake people up is when they don't have what they need. Money's run out. Um, when your utility bill is $1,400 a month and you can't heat your house. When you go to the store and you got to buy a loaf of bread and it's $10. Like this, we're in this change. We're in this change, like really into it and getting into it until at least, I mean, I'm going to say 2025 is where, um but it hasn't gotten really bad for people. Um, I know CERB has stopped. I'm not sure if they're still doing CERB here in Canada. So for many people who've been on CERB, and if that's been a help for them, they're not going to get it. So that's really going to throw a curveball into things. How do you circumvent the workplace vaccine mandates? There's going to be a shortage. There's going to be a shortage, and people have to fight it. And that's where people are going to find you. They're going to find the groups that they need to go to. They're going to find where they're going to be. And you don't have the option to work from home or find another job, but you do have those options. That's the thing. It's like people believe it's like this is it. That job is the only job for me in the rest for my whole life. But they're not looking at what else can I do? And that's taking those chances. That's where the frequencies are. That's taking those chances and stepping out, and it's scary. Will people lose their jobs? Yeah, there's going to be thousands of people that are going to lose their jobs. Over 93 million people in the United States are not, elixired. I'm not sure what the number is here in Canada, but I mean, the rate is pretty high when you're getting up to what, close to 80% vaccinated, which is fine. Get it. I don't, but I also am looking at this is where the push comes in. This is where a push comes forward on where you want to stand. And I mean, many people will bow down and they will get it. They will do it. They will show it to live a life. You know, but the other thing that I'm going to say too is there's not going to be some of the jobs that they think are going to be there. So some jobs are going to be gone. And I'm going to say within 6 to 8 months because of automation. So they're going to be doing a lot of automation with them. But the other part too is that all the crazy things that they're trying to put upon people, the rebellion comes in. There, it what happens anytime within an economy when things get too so bad and they keep oppressing the people, usually what ends up happening is a rebellion. Now, why some of these rebellions did not work in other times is, like in Cuba or in China or in places like Venezuela, is because of gun mandates or gun laws that were brought in, not mandates, but laws for the gun and taking people's guns away because they didn't have a form of fighting back. And so this is all, I mean, this is recurring. This is all recurring of what happened within the 30s, and we're revisiting it. We're revisiting a lot of this energy. Some of this energy goes back to 1289, which brought in huge repercussions and changes within the world at that time, all the way back to 1759 to 1760, where the American Revolution came in. We have Pluto return coming in for the United States, which is going to hit us globally with how the presidency or how the government is works in the United States and what's going to happen there and the divisions that are going to be caused within the states. And I think it's more of the somewhat of the Democratic parties that are going to try and push things upon. But it's speaking out. I mean, this is where we're coming in with the truth. It's speaking out. People are afraid to speak out. People are afraid to say anything. Um, Dave Chappelle, I mean, speaking out with what he's saying, you know, he has every right to say what he said, and he shouldn't be shunned or persecuted because of it. And that's all part of these changes. Like, you shouldn't be shunned or persecuted, nor show anything that you don't want to show. And that's where the changes are coming in. Is there going to be a fight? Yeah. Are a lot of people going to go silently and just sort of say, fuck it, let me just go along with this? Yes. Yes, there is. There's going to be many people that aren't going to go, that are going to say, I'm just going to go and take the elixir and go with it. And then take the third one. And then take the fourth one. Because if you think the third is going to work, then there's going to be a fourth. And each time they say it decreases your immune system by 20%, 25%. Follow a lady in Tennessee, and she has shown how bare the shelves are and the cost increases each week. She finds a lot of segregation already. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, there's huge segregation, especially in Tennessee. Ha! You got it, girl. I think Tennessee's a blue state. It's not a red state, so it's very democratic. So there'd be huge um, division that's there. So yeah, huge division. I mean, there's shortages already in Washington State, in California. I mean, California, their gas is, one place it's like 4.79, and they're supposed to be the lowest for gas prices. So, and that's per gallon, by the way. So there's 4 liters in a gallon, people. So you can figure it out from there. Um, and this is this is where change has to happen. We have to get to a point where you wake the fuck up on what you're going to do. And you find the people that, and this is also where you find 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, exactly. Until you get to the Zulu variant. And I think maybe that's when people wake up. The thing is that what you're going to also see and is other things popping out, more people having cold sores, shingles, um, cancers. You're also going to find where other variants, not only the variants, but other things, people, autoimmune disorders are going to come forth. I mean, we've already discussed this all, but Scorpio is going to reveal this more, and the push upon the people is going to be even felt more than it has before. And then we also not only have that new moon, we have a full moon in Taurus, which is a lunar eclipse. So that is really going to highlight and shadow a lot of things that are going to be eclipsed from us. So it is where, yeah, Kelly came in and started shaking things up. So once things got shook up, here comes the shakeup. Here comes the shattering. Here comes, the cracks. They're not cracked anymore. They're just falling. They're just falling. And somebody asked me the other day about Florida, and I'm just like, okay, do you think ships are going to go all the way from the state of California, off the coast of California, go through the Panama Canal all the way up to Florida? Do you know how much money that I mean, it's probably cheaper for them to sit out. China's gone into a lockdown as well right now. So China's gone into some crazy lockdown. They're not doing a bailout for their that huge construction company. They're not doing a bailout for them, and the bonds that are holding that company up are mainly holders of in the United States. Are the biggest bond holders for this construction company, which is worth billions and billions and billions of dollars, but they're not going to bail them out. They're not doing anything. So China's just basically watching things fall and watching as it all falls. And and the other part too, Facebook just changed their name. So I don't know if anybody noticed that, to its new Mecca, which is kind of fucking weird. I just got to say, this Mecca or metaverse, which is this new universe type of things, with Facebook. So Facebook just changed. So that is really freaking crazy. Or going back to the um for the ships and stuff coming in. they're taking stuff from Texas and I think somewhere else. So someone within that area. But for a ship to come all the way to turn around to take everybody and go all the way up to Florida. And plus, Florida wouldn't be able, they could handle some, but I really don't think Florida could handle the amount because most ships actually land in the United States in California, and then they get dispersed from there. That's how it's usually worked. And there is hundreds of thousands of ships out there. Somebody said, no, there isn't. I said, go and take a look. Go find YouTube videos. And guys, I listen to some of the economists and the guys who are talking about the money. They're the ones who are telling you the truth. They're the ones who are coming out and saying, hey, this is really fucked up. What are you doing? What do you mean that there's no inflation? They're lying about the increase of inflation because they don't want to panic people. Right? So if interest rates, if you are at a fixed, if you're in a fixed mortgage, good. If you're in a variable mortgage, I would say I would try and change that. I don't know how you do it. I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would not go into a variable rate mortgage at this time. Just because you're going to find that interest rates are going to start going up. So, and if interest rates start going up and they start going crazy, which they did in the, I can remember, like, I think this was in the 70s and 80s, they went up very high, 24%. So right now people are paying zero. They're trying to keep the economy going. But this is the thing. It's like we can't continue just to flood it. And this is where it's easy. It's easier if we can do and take the bite now than if you do it in a year from now or 2 years from now. If you take and suck it up now and say, okay, all right, this is crazy. I'm going to suck it up now. I'm going to do what I need to do and really focus on the things I need to focus on now, then trying to continue to push it away, you're going to be better off at the end. You're going to be a lot better off than what you are now. So this is where a lot of the changes are coming in, and Scorpio now is going to reveal it. And I know, what Chantal was saying is like, you don't have options to work from home. Well, you might not have the options to work from home, but there are other options. And this is where other communities start to grow and new communities start to pop up. And that's where that's where things start to move into a new direction, right? So this is crazy. I mean, I'm looking outside and I don't know if it's snowing yet, but it's kind of gloomy. It's supposed to snow today. But this is where, when we are looking at the changes and transformations that need to be made, this is where the energy's at. The energy's coming in to say we got to do the changes. And this is what the Mayan prophecy was all saying. Things are going to be ending. Things are going to be crumbling. And people are like, oh, yeah, whatever. Nothing happens. But it takes, as things deteriorate, a building does not deteriorate overnight. It takes time, growth, and where you find that the foundation starts to crack, and then another crack in the foundation. Then they find that things aren't being supported, or the molding wasn't put up properly, or things weren't installed the way that they were supposed to be installed. So a whole new vamping or tearing down has to happen. And that's within our structure. Tearing down and newness has to come in. And like I have a lovely Gemini son who says, oh mom, that's just bunch bullshit, you're listening to all that bullshit. Well, he's the same child that said that I told him that we're going to be locked down, and that we're going to be locked down for a while, and that there's going to be increases in pricing, and whatever. You don't have to listen. You don't have to hear what I say. I just go by what the astrology is showing me. The astrology showed me that there's a lot of pressure that's coming in, and the oppression is going to be upon the people. and it's going to be the people to make the choice and the changes. And we have these world leaders at a conference. Yeah, for what? We even elected a mayor, and I'm thinking she's going to raise taxes so high here in Calgary for bullshit that you're going to find that you won't be able to drive a vehicle because nobody's going to be able to afford an electric vehicle. For one, there's not enough lithium to supply it. And where are they going to get it? From China? I don't think so. So this is where it's like people like it's like this is the reality. This is yes, we have the spiritual energy that comes forth and we want to stay within that spiritual energy, but we also look at the reality and the practicality of what we need to do. What do I need to do that is still in alignment with my frequency that I'm working at? My alignment is okay. I'm going to go and I'm going to stock up. I'm going to go and make sure that I have things in my house. So when the solar flares, because no, they're not talking about solar flares right now. They're not talking about the sun and the energies that the sun is putting off at this time. Nobody's mentioning that. They don't want to add that onto everything, but I think it's something that has to be looked at and to be aware of. Definitely. So we have that's coming in. So it's like, okay, I need to be proactive. I need to get out and I need to talk to other people. I need to say, okay, I do X, who else does X? Where else are people who are like-minded? Is there something happening at my work, or are they just going to say, okay, we're going to just fire everybody? Wow. It's going to be an interesting job market. It's going to be interesting when people aren't working and mortgages. It's that's the fall of it. It's just like, okay, you're just going to allow people just to all of a sudden have no place to live, nothing there, no income. So it's going to be an interesting ploy, but that frequency that I keep talking about, it's there to bring in the change. To bring in the change. And it's going to be interesting when with all the satellites that are going to be uploaded, with all the new satellites. So that's another Chiron kind of Aries kind of thing coming in. So that's going to be an interesting onset with how that's affiliated with people who have taken the elixir. So, but studies are coming out about shedding. Studies are coming, more information's coming out about where they, you know, I look at why do you think Fauci and those guys have not gotten the shot? Why do you think they in the United States government says that their own caucus and their own people don't have to take it, but they're forcing others to take it? You know, it's just like it gets people to awaken, to say, "Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense." Do you think Prime Minister Trudeau took the elixir? Fuck no. Sitting there all happy. Yeah, I'm getting the shot. No, you're not. You're getting a vitamin D fucking shot. You didn't get it, buddy. Does he need it? No, because if you have enough money, you don't need it to fly into any country. You could just fly in on your own jet. You don't need it. So that's an interesting factor in itself. So this is and then Pfizer was coming out and even saying that they don't know what this dosage will do for children. We won't know for several years. So once we know in a few years, we'll know if this was a good thing or a bad thing to give to children. And they want to mandate it from 17 to 0. They're already pushing the one from 5 to 11 half dose. And many parents are like, "Oh yes, I'm going to get my kid done." You don't know the results. They don't know. They don't know. And the things that they have done haven't been exactly positive. And the thing is that you don't know some of the results until several years after. And that's what Scorpio is going to try and show to you. And then when Venus goes retrograde with Pluto on Pluto in December at Christmas time, and then there's an exact square with Saturn and Uranus on Christmas Eve, it's it's going to reveal a whole lot more kettle of fish. And if you don't think they can start something at Christmas, Christmas is a fine time to get people riled up and start and get things going. So I kept feeling like for a lot of some people, I don't know which group I talked to, but I kept on feeling like the energies of World War II and how those energies were. And not that I don't think I lived, I past lives I didn't live in that time, but there's just an energy that's in the air. But this is where coming together, feeding one another, coming together, creating something. Doesn't the government give 1-800 lines for Gambler Anonymous? Give them what? Big gamble, children's life. Oh yeah, it is. It is a gamble with children's lives in doing this. Because they actually they do not know the exact what's going to happen. This is why when in 2023, well, 2024, when Pluto goes into Aquarius, that's when you don't see children being born. There's a low birth rate. There's a low birth rate um, with with births and a high death rate in 20 as we go into Pluto into Aquarius. And so that's going to be a good 10 years that I think Pluto's going to be in Aquarius. This is one of the longest transits with Pluto in Capricorn. So it's an interesting one. The short one was Pluto in Libra, and that was the aid pandemic. And also with Saturn being in there and Pluto being in there, with the Libra also changed relationships and how we deal with relationships and divorce rates and um, interracial marriages to gay marriages, etc. were all brought up during that time, and that was in the 80s. So crazy, man. It's just interesting to watch it all unfold. It's interesting to watch how people um are scrambling for a lot of things and doing that scrambling. So find your posse, find the people you want to be with, and go from there. So and look at the bigger picture. And I'll be talking more about this new moon over the weekend and the energies of this new moon coming forward and things that we can do. There's a lot of, ceremonies. We can do our own ceremonies, lighting our candles, uh calling in. I mean, this is a weekend for our ancestors. Call in your ancestors for help and protection and guidance. So, asking them to lead the way. You may not know all of their names, but you don't have to. You could just call them in. You can ask for your ancestors to come in to give you that guidance. So, and do that. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I do have a new meditation starting on Monday. So let me know. I will be doing a newsletter out to my group who are enrolled in the meditation. So I'll be doing that, and it's $25 for the whole month. It's Monday through Friday. It is going to be a very good, fabulous meditation for us all, and just bringing in that beautiful energy and bringing in God's grace. That's what the meditation is called. It's called God's grace. So entering into that energy of God's grace. And my meditations are non-denominational. They don't belong to any religion or anything like that. So just to let you know. And they're Monday through Friday. They're at 6 a.m. They're on Zoom. They are recorded. So if you can't make the 6 a.m., you can always watch the recording afterwards at your convenience, because I try and get the recording out to people before noon, as long as Zoom and everything uploads and stuff like that. So We have that that's coming up. Haven't put out anything for November for classes, but I might have like a 1-day class on doing house protection or something like that. So we might have that um, for in November, having that come out. So, and then the mini readings also. So the mini readings are for the new moon and the full moon. So they'll still be happening for y'all. So sending you guys out so much love. Enjoy the day. Enjoy this beautiful light that's coming in for us, because it is filling up our Santa bags. So, of all the beautiful things that we want to create. So, have a blessed one, and we will talk to you tomorrow. If not, or maybe I'll see you tonight if you're in the group tonight on the veil. So, have a blessed one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye, everybody.